Hey everyone, Natalie Pigeon with Boomtown Peer Coaching here. And today I want to talk about one of my favorite strategies of how to follow up and build rapport with online leads. Now, this specifically refers to a strategy on how to nurture leads long term. I actually created a drip around it, and it's called After First Conversation. Now, I'm going to share the drip here in a second, but I really want to talk through why I created this to start and how it's been successful. So the reasons why I really created this is because when you have a call with a lead for the first time, right? Like maybe they recognize what site you're from, maybe they can remember your name. These are all maybes, right? And let's say they say their time frame is next spring. Well, what most people do is put a to-do to potentially follow up with them next month, or even worse, some people put the to-do even further out. Now, mind you, from the lead standpoint or the consumer standpoint, really, how are you going to provide this person value, and how are they going to remember you? So this is where the strategy that I came up with really helps cement the relationship. And I named it After First Conversation. Basically, that's the drip. And I typically recommend auto starting it in Nurture. And the reasons why, again, that this is beneficial is because it gets them familiar with you and your brand. It allows you to follow up and engage with them much sooner. And it teaches them kind of how to use the website or how to use the favorites or find their actual saved searches. And also, it's something that is automatic, and you're just responsible for the phone calls if they don't respond. So the strategy basically goes something like this. You hang up the call with somebody, but you're teeing up the conversation for the next interaction. So I'm just going to check back with you in a few days just to ensure you're receiving the property alerts that I'm setting you up on today. And you're setting up that expectation you're going to check back with them. Now, what does this do for you? It allows you an opportunity to uncover more motivation, more objections, maybe more pre-qualifying information that you didn't get to on the first call. So you're finding a reason to basically call them back. Also, it is important that they do see the e-alerts that you put them on, right? Because if they're not on your e-alerts and they're not on your website, then we know they're on somebody else's website, and that could be a problem for conversion. So that's kind of step one. Let me go ahead and share my screen so I can. And as you read here, I'm using the SMART. Basically, I'm using the SMART rules here to determine what I want to send them based on potentially if they've already registered on the website, like they're a pay-per-click lead, or maybe they're a auto import lead. So this gives a couple different messages based on that activity. And then I'm sending a text. And then if they don't respond here, that's where I'm responsible for the phone call again. Now, again, if they text back, yes, I'm getting them, and you have an uncovered time frame or other motivational factors that you need to know, this would be your opportunity to continue the conversation right here. All right, so moving on, the next to do would be a week from that conversation and that follow-up, and the fact that you are just checking in with them now that they have had time to review some of the properties that you're sending them, just to ensure that the search criteria is set up correctly. So again, in this email though, I'm also taking it a little step further. And again, based on their activity on the website, I'm saying one thing because, again, I want them to make sure that they are engaged in the site, so I'm driving the traffic back here. But if they are engaged in the site, I do also want to make sure that they know how to start a new search if they want, and they kind of understand the value of the website again, but the ultimate goal here is to make sure the search criteria is set up correctly. And that's the to-do number 2 after the call. So at this point in time, I've talked to them now potentially or reached out 3 times within, per se, a couple weeks. So I am much more likely to have made an impression on them in their mind, or at least recognize me, my site, and what I'm doing for them if they're a nurture type lead. And then the next is, again, a text message that goes out pretty much at the same time as the email, trying to hit them both ways. And then again, if they don't respond, the goal would be for you to give them a call. And again, this is an opportunity for you to uncover and engage even further if you need to. And then the last one, the third to do or step would be just checking in with them a month from that date, right? And making sure they're on the right track to purchase. And then here is the one that I can't build into the drip, but the fourth to do would be, let's say this is a long-term nurture. They're saying, we're thinking about purchasing next year, next fall. That is a long time away. And if you're like any other agent, right, your database may be a little better or maybe less messy at times. So the fourth to do and best practice here, if somebody says that they're purchasing next fall, right, that's basically a year from now, we would want to set it to do 4 months prior to that date. So that may be mid-May-ish input in that to do time to plant seed or start setting the appointment, because their time frame is fall 2020. And this should be, if you're following Boomtown or checking your to-dos, then when this pops up, hopefully this is the catch-all that you still have time to really engage this person before their ideal time frame. So that is the strategy that I teach and implement, and this drip that I have written is probably one of the highest engaging drips because it is a really soft way to cement the relationship. And again, the reason why I created this is because if you talk to somebody for the first time, the odds of them remembering you or having a clue even of what you're talking about becomes pretty slim if you don't have a process built in place to stay in front of them. And this is where I created that drip. So this is something that is near and dear to my heart because I've seen it work over and over and over again if you implement this correctly. And I am giving back to you all today because this is one of the strategies that I teach agents, and it's really successful. Again, my name is Natalie Pigeon with Boomtown Peer Coaching, and here to serve you all. If you have any questions, comments, statements about this, or if you simply like this video, just hit like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. But if you want to reach out to me and you have questions about this strategy, feel free to private message me, find me on Facebook, and send me a message. Thanks all.